show it every.
Sit down, everybody. I want everybody to take a shot with the mayor. Come on, get in there. Sit over there. Get in there. Yeah, great. Grab that camera.
Toronto Star. I've always wanted to be the Star.
Come on. Hey, sit down, Walk. Hurry up. I got the principal.
How are you?
Did I sign a release for that?
What is that? You have to go through.
Direct line?
Gentlemen, if you could please take your seats as quickly as possible. We'd like to begin.
cares for me. My baby just cares for me. My baby don't care for cars and races. My baby don't care for his hair is not a star high, and even let her turn a smile. Something he can't see. My baby don't care who knows.
To reciprocate Search for pleasure, search for pain in this world. Now I am undying. And for my friend, my nation, your best. Black heart, would you offer more? Would you make it easier on me? Satisfied, I'm on fire. Running to the core. Beating all your kings and queens. All your sex and your and we will make it tomorrow with the comments time. Time will take, see the rise. Time will wait. Black heart, why would you offer more? Why would you make it easier on me? Satisfied, I'm on fire. Running to the core. Beating all your kings and queens. All your sex and your dragons.
team.
朋友们，大家好，这里是时尚新的来自多伦多时装周的现场报道。站在我旁边呢就是美女 Ivana。
Hi, pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, because we are TorontoTV is for the Chinese community.
Excellent.
In Canada.
Wicked. So you'll translate for me,
yeah,
please,
a little bit,
please.
A little bit.
Or I can speak to you in Italian, you can speak to me in Chinese.
Oh yeah.
And then no one will know what's going on.
That's right. So could you talk about your style today?
Oh, my style today? Yeah. Warm and comfortable.
So is this your signage or your personal life you will wear this way or?
So you're saying how does it reflect?
Yeah.
I'm an artist, so I like to, most of the things that I do, I like to go about them in a creative way, because I think sometimes people think 1 + 1 = 2, 2 + 2 = 4, but I think life can be a lot more interesting than that.
And I know there's many your fans in Toronto, and also we have your songs, in China, also. But it's a bring, from my friends, to China. So could you say something about your new songs and your playing for the future?
Sure, for sure. I'm actually, this week, I'm in studio when I leave here, I'm going to be in studio till probably 4 in the morning, all for the rest of the week. And we're mastering the record. The record is really pretty songs. It's about songwriting, and it's paying homage to the late 70s and the early 80s, when people write songs where you take out all the production and the song's still beautiful.
So, yeah. So could you just give us a little bit, a short song here for the Chinese people? No, just a little bit.
You want me to a new song?
Yeah.
A new song. Okay. Girl, just leave it alone. The pain won't stop if you don't. You're bringing the sun yourself. Don't even try to blame anyone else.
Oh, thank you so much. 亲爱的朋友们，今天你也有幸听到最新的歌声了。Could you tell us where could we get your new album?
Well, it'll be available in iTunes. Digitally, we'll have it available as well. And we're going to do a release first in Canada and actually Japan as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're working on that first.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. You got to get me some connects in China.
Yeah, when will you be in China someday?
You got to connect me.
Okay.
It's you.
Cool. Yeah, okay. I will help you out. And,
okay.
Thank you so much. And do you have any, so we could get all the albums in Canada?
Yes, it'll be available. It'll be available. And on my website, we'll make sure that we state where it's accessible.
Okay, so
and my website, yeah.
Tell us
okay.
Your website.
www.ivanasantilli2ls.net.
Thank you so
no
much.
Problem.
Appreciate it. Wish you success.
Yes.
In Canada and
Thank you.
China.
And China, yeah.
I'm waiting for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I only sang for you.
Okay.
I've never sung for anyone else.
So, 亲爱的朋友们，大家好，这里是时尚新的来自多伦多时装周的现场报道。那么站在我旁边的呢，就是 Evan Jin. So, could you guys talk about your team and your name?
Well, the name comes from our nephews.
It's not your guys.
No, it's not our name.
Alright.
No.
Yeah, so cool. So, is there any special meaning for that?
Yeah, because family is very important to us. So we wanted to pay homage to our family and really put that out there for them.
So I saw your collection. You touch many different kind of fabric.
Yeah.
Like nylon, but you make it like leather. Even lining. It's kind of like real fitting. So how could you guys make the fabric? Work this well?
Well, we love working with the Italian mills. That's where most of our fabric comes from, Italy and from France. And I mean, Raymond here is a pretty fantastic pattern drafter, and so he's able to do pretty amazing things with the fabric that we get.
And I see your card is very special. And I love the black long dress.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
Really?
Thank you.
It's feminine and
Yeah.
it's still something special.
But you could see it walking down the red carpet at the Oscars, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
So could you talk about your silhouette and your card?
Well, I think the collection was about dichotomy. So you were seeing two different stories throughout the whole collection. You were seeing slim and volume. You were seeing dark and light. You were seeing natural and synthetic. So it was about blending those two. So in that dress in particular, it was about this really slim fitted silhouette, but adding volume through an architectural detail.
And also the contrast of matte versus shine on that particular dress, because the wool crepe was matte, and then all of the silk detail down the sides had a sheen to it.
And what's the inspiration for your this collection?
For the next collection, we haven't even gone there yet.
Okay, so for this collection, what's your main color? Why you pick up these kind of colors, like a little bit red?
We wanted it to be a really feminine palette, and we really wanted to encourage people to put colors that would typically clash together. So pink and red that are like kind of opposing, but you put them together, or like corals and pinks and reds with burgundy. It's that kind of this, yeah. It's feminine, but there's some clash that's going to happen.
And for the hair and makeup,
the hair was basically, we wanted to be kind of a twist on like a rockabilly, kind of a pompadour-y thing that's happening, like kind of melding a few eras together. And then for makeup, we just wanted it to be like clean, simple, and the accentuation of the blush has a little bit of like 1970s touch with the blush, because it was all about the strong blush in that decade.
And then could you talk about your customer a little bit? Your design for?
Well, I think that the woman that we're designing for, she has a keen interest in fashion. She is interested in experimenting with her look. She's interested in walking into a room and having people notice her in that piece. She's not a shrinking violet. She's confident, and she likes to explore.
Yeah, and she wants to create dialogue with other people, because people are going to come up to you when you're wearing something fabulous and being like, where did you get this jacket, and they're going to want to know. So it kind of creates dialogue with two strangers.
Okay, I wanted to know where I could get those dresses.
Where you want to get those dresses?
No,
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. So you can get them in Vancouver, in Victoria, in Chicago, Florida. Yeah.
That's our distribution right now. Well, that's what we're
hoping
hoping
this
soon.
is for.
Hopefully soon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yes.
I'm waiting for that, and hope you guys success.
Thank you so much.
And I will see you next year.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
亲爱的朋友们，我是阿德，这里是来自
Hi, I'm Lights.
Adam. Maury.
Lights is my band.
OK，这是来自多伦多最新的音乐组合。Do you guys talk about your band and your specialty in the music genre?
I guess it could be described as like electro pop with, I don't know, lots of 80s influences and lots of sort of Euro influences. So lots of keyboard synth pop.
So what's the inspiration you guys to combine together?
I needed a really stellar band, and these were my guys. So he plays synth for me, and he plays drums for me.
Okay, that's cool. So do you have any music or songs published right now, or?
Well, right now, actually, you can probably hear my music in the Old Navy ads. They're using all my music in their new ads, and it's very cool. And the EP is coming out soon.
Okay, so do you guys have a website, for us to enjoy your piece or information about?
Just MySpace right now. You can go to myspace.com/lightsnoise. Lightsnoise.
Okay, so could you two guys talk about your part, while you do the music? What inspired you guys to be together?
Well, basically, we're just part of the live performance. So we basically practice together and arrange how we play it live. And I play keyboards, like you said, and he plays drums. And
Okay, so I think you guys are very cool today. It's Toronto Fashion Week, so why you guys planning to dress this way?
It's comfortable and cool, and I like pairing vintage pieces with like some modern stuff, and I really like some hippie influences, but spreading love in the new way,
Okay. So how about you?
I basically just like, I love my jacket, and I just make, and I always wear jeans, so, and cons. Classic.
I basically just wore the best clothes I had.
Okay, so thank you so much, and I wish you success in the coming days. And I hope you do much more songs, and also in Chinese, and we will have a huge population to support you all around the world.
Oh, thank you. How do you say lights in Chinese?
What's that?
How do you say lights in Chinese?
Lights?
Yeah.
L-I-G-H-T?
Yeah, that's what my name is. Lights.
Guang.
Guang?
Yeah.
Guang.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's coming? Here.
Okay there?
This is come to. World, the time has come to. World, my finger is on the button.
Alessio Socato.